history. All right, tribals, decus, and the vision of the golden age. Okay, so let's begin the last video of this chapter, that is a closer look. Actually, I have already explained the main topic of this main subtopic of this topic, a closer look, that is Birsa Munda, in the first video, and you can see the explanation of this topic from the first video of this chapter over the channel Historia. All right. So in this video, I'm going to cover this topic a closer look and also going to sum up this whole chapter once again for you. All right. So here you see the main points of that topic is just right in front of you. Okay. So that topic actually tells that how many a closer look, and we got to know that how tribal people rebelled, and there were so many rebellions and revolts were happening at the time in the 19th century. All right, so here the first comes Cole's Rebellion. Okay, so this Cole's Rebellion was going on in 1831 to 1832. Remember, I have made this chart for your convenience so that you could remember this, and they are important. Cole's Rebellion, 1831 to 1832. Santhal's Revolt. We know where were Santhals. Santhals used to live in, Orissa, Jharkhand, these places. Santhal's Revolt in 1855. Then Bastar Rebellion. This rebellion was got a huge popularity as well. So this was also an important one. Bastar Rebellion in 1910. Coming towards the last one, Worli Revolt, which was too much later to on the period in the history. So this is Worli Revolt in 1940. Okay, so these are the four main revolts and the rebellions that happened in India. And let's move toward the topic here. So here you can see that Cole's rebellion was Cole's rebel. I have already told you about that, 1831 to 1832. Then Santhal's 1855, Bastar rebellion in central India. Remember this, when the where was Bastar rebellion happened? It was in central India. Okay, okay, and then Worli revolt. It is in Maharashtra. Here Maharashtra is mentioned. Okay, Bastar one in central India means the places around you know Madhya Pradesh, and Worli Revolt in Maharashtra. So you have also heard about Worli art. I hope you heard about it. If you don't, that's okay. So Worli Revolt was in Maharashtra. Now here the movement that Birsa led was one such movement. Okay, Birsa also led a movement. So let me sum up this whole topic, Birsa Munda, for you, for your convenience. So here first thing comes, when did Birsa born? Okay, so in mid 1870s, remember the year, 1870s. By the way, it doesn't come that much in your exams. The main thing which comes, when he died actually. Okay, so Birsa died in 1900 and born in 1870s, mid 1870s. Okay, mid 1870s here, remember. So mid 1870s to 1900. All right, here the next thing comes that Birsa was a kind of a normal child, a normal who used to do a very daily activities in a tribal community. He belonged to a Munda tribe. Okay, so what were his activities? He was a son of a poor father, and grew up in forests of Bohanda. Remember this, Bohonda. This place is also important, Bohonda. So, and grazing sheep, playing the flute, dancing in the local akharas, these were his activities. And coming towards the next, he observed, he went to a lot of teachers, a lot of Vaishnav teachers, a lot of Christian teachers, missionaries, and observed what people think about Mundas or tribal people. And from there he got to know that tribal people are being really much assassinated in the outside world, and he doesn't want that. So that is why he just came, when he attained so much knowledge from local missionary schools and a lot of teachers, preachers, Vaishnav preachers. So what he observed that Munda's tribe has to, rebel against this. They have to revolt against this, and have to bring the golden age. In the heading of this chapter, it is mentioned tribals, Dikus, and the golden age. So here the golden age refers to the Satyug. Okay, Satyug, in which Ram, Ravan, these gods were living. So that Satyug was called as the age of truth, Satya. And from Satya it is Satyug, the age of truth, when Mundas lived a good life, constructed embankments, tapped natural springs, and planted trees and orchards and all stuff. Okay, so he wanted that, and he said that he influenced other people. He urged the Munda tribal people that we have to get our Satyug time period. We have to get our golden age back. So this happened in 1895, and that was in the first page of the chapter. It is mentioned 1895. Okay, here incident of 1895 is mentioned here in 1895. All right. So here he did this and all. And what he asked them, Munda tribe, not to do, he asked them what to do. He asked them to rebel against the outside world, to raise their voices. But what he didn't ask them to do, he wanted them to avoid, was drinking liquor. First thing, drinking liquor. Second, cleaning their villages. And third thing, that is stop believing in witchcraft or sorcery. So what is sorcery? Sorcery is jadoo, tona, these kind of things. So witchcraft and sorcery, he wanted them to stop this. Okay, so that was about to end, and now this was in this paragraph. And now, as Munda tribal people started rebelling against the people, and after this, British got so feared that they just, when this movement of Birsa was spreading along, then Britishers, what they did, they arrested Birsa Munda in 1895. Remember when Britishers arrested Birsa Munda in 1895? 1895, on what case, on what charges? On the charge of, on the charge of rioting, and jailed him for 2 years. Okay, on the charge of rioting. Riots mean what? Riot means what? Riot basically means dange fasad. So this when he was rebelling, so he was also doing, he was physically rebelling also. So that is why he was not doing a peaceful rebel. That is why Britishers had to, jail him for 2 years. And in 1897, he came back, and he again have a tour of villages, and did a lot of things and urged people to destroy Ravanas. Ravanas, what? Dikus and the Europeans. And then they also attacked police stations and a lot of stuff they did in the 3 years. But in 1900, unfortunately, Birsa Munda died of what disease? Cholera. Okay, what disease? Cholera. And after 1900, this whole movement was totally faded out. But from 1897 to 1900, the movement was at the highest range, at the highest, at the top of the country. And the tribal people, the Munda tribal people, also urged that they are going to raise the white flag as a symbol of Birsa Raj, and they will make whole India as the Birsa Raj. Okay, now here in the last paragraph, it tells that this movement was not fruitful, but it was fruitful in two ways. First, that it forced the colonial government to introduce laws so that the land of the tribals could not be easily taken over by Dikus, over by the outsiders. And second impact was it showed once again that the tribal people had the capacity to rebel against injustice and express their anger against colonial rule. So this was in this paragraph. I hope you remember the whole stuff. And here in this chapter, it is all about tribal people and all. So I don't think so. Okay, let me just explain you. Here it tells what are the questions, and in the last paragraph it tells that Brahmins' rule were more strict than the tribal ones. Then here some were jhum cultivators. Here we got to know how jhum cultivation used to be done previously. And then here comes some were hunters and gatherers. So we got to know a lot of activities, sal, mahua, and a lot of activities related to hunter and gatherers. They also do. They also provide kusum and palash flowers to color their clothes of weavers or okay. And here it also comes the misery of the tribal people, that they have to become the laborer, unfortunately, after even don't want, they didn't even wanted that. And some herded animals. So here we got to know particular tribes who of particular places what they did. Then this paragraph is not important. It doesn't even come in your exams. So some took to settled cultivation. What is this? It is just that the farmers who cultivated and became settled cultivators and farmers. Then how did colonial rule affect tribal lives? So in this paragraph, what happened to tribal chiefs? This explains what happened to tribal chiefs and what happened with the shifting cultivators. Okay, so yeah, this okay, what happened to shifting cultivators? It showed, this paragraph explains that what was the condition. Here we also got to know about the condition or the midway that was taken by the Britishers and British colonial officers. Okay, and forest laws and their impact. So in this we got to know that what were the forest laws made by them, and the total uh, came up with the solution. Okay, so actually in this paragraph we got to know about the condition. In the last paragraph we got to know what were the things happening, and that is why uh, the people also didn't like that and they rebelled against that. Then here comes the problem with the trade. So what were the here an example of Jharkhand Hazaribagh has shown, and this paragraph concludes this much, that the traders understandably here also mention understandably many tribal groups saw the market and the traders as their main enemies. Okay, the search for work I have already explained in the last video. So this was it. I hope you're clear with this chapter. If you got any doubt, any question, please mention in the comment box. And in the next video, I'm going to take a quiz. What you have learned in the whole chapter. So thank you. Have a good day. Bye.